رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. So continuing with the topic of the Battle of Trench, the companions, Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they're guarding Medina and Trench round the clock. They would take turns in guarding, right? However, the difficulties, they only seem to be increasing. This massive army is fast approaching Medina, made up of Quraysh, Ghatafan, and other smaller tribes. The weather is bitter cold, there's shortage of food, and then you have these hypocrites around you who are trying to talk you down, being negative. Add to all of this, another serious problem may be brewing, and it could not have come at a worse time. Name of that problem? Banu Qurayza. The last of the three Jewish tribes that was still in Medina, right? It was decided that their fortress was going to be used as a protection from the army advancing from that direction, right? So the Prophet ﷺ is now receiving news that Banu Qurayza may have breached their agreement. Which agreement? The Medina Charter, right? And they may have actually joined hands with the coalition army against the Muslims. So at this point, this is only news, right? It needed to be confirmed. But think about it. If this were true, this thing of the coalition army coming together, 10,000 people coming together to attack Medina is unexpected, right? And now to find out that the people within your community, the ones who you trust will help you defend your city, the ones who you trust will help you fight the enemy, they may have actually joined hands with the enemy, that they may have actually betrayed you. Just imagine the state of mind at this time, at this moment, of the Muslims of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But again, this is only news at this time, right? So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, before jumping to conclusion, again, another major lesson we learn from here, before jumping to conclusion and arriving at a decision, right? He waits to confirm the news. How does he confirm the news? Inshallah, we're going to talk about it in the next recording. But now, let's hear about how and why Banu Qurayza, they became part of this coalition army, right? So Huayy ibn Akhtab, who is the chief of Banu Nadir, right? The Jewish tribe that got expelled from Medina because they tried to assassinate the Prophet, right? The tribe that is actually the mastermind behind this entire effort against the Muslims, he approaches Ka'b ibn Asad. Who is Ka'b ibn Asad? He is the one who signed the Medina Charter on behalf of Banu Qurayza, right? And what did the charter say? The charter said that if anyone attacks the Jews, Muslims would defend them. And if anyone attacks the Muslims, the Jews would come to their defense, right? So that was what Ka'b ibn Asad, he signed on behalf of Banu Qurayza. Now, Huayy ibn Akhtab, he heads towards Ka'b ibn Asad's fort. As soon as Ka'b hears about his coming, he knew what he was coming for. He locks his door, okay? Huayy asks him to open the door. Ka'b refuses. Huayy calls out to him and asks him, like, what's wrong with you? Why won't you open the door? Ka'b says, what's wrong with you? You're a horrible person. Innaka mra'un mash'umun, right? I have an agreement with Muhammad and I'm not going to violate that contract. I have always found him to be honorable and truthful. So when he's talking on behalf of Banu Qurayza, okay? So it's not like Banu Qurayza were looking for a way out, right? That they were looking for a window or an opportunity to break this treatment. They tried to hold back, right? But unfortunately, they were not strong enough. Huayy keeps insisting and allow him to talk to him. He's like, just open the door. All I want to do is sit down with you and eat. Like, why wouldn't you open the door for a person who has traveled so far? He's tired, he's hungry, he's standing at your door. Like, what kind of a behavior is this? Open the door. So it was basically a tactic on Huay's part. He was playing on the sensitivities of Ka'b ibn Asad, right? And it worked. Okay? It got Ka'b to open the door. Once Ka'b opens the door, Huayy, what does he say to him? What's wrong with you? Like, I've come to you with this golden opportunity. جئتك بعز الدهر, right? Golden opportunity. Once in a lifetime opportunity. I've come to you with like a wave of soldiers, referring to the soldiers of Quraish and Ghatafan, right? And he also mentions that, these group of people, these 10,000 people, they've actually taken a vow, a pledge to destroy Muhammad and his people. Ka'b responds to him by saying, you have come with the worst news possible. This is really bad news. Your plans, let me tell you, they're going to fail. You will not be able to succeed in this. This is beyond your control. Like, this is all bad news. Get away. I will not break my treaty with the Muslims. I have found Muhammad to be the most honorable and the most trustworthy. He repeats this again, right? Now, Huayy doesn't let up. He continues. And he tries to convince Ka'b. And unfortunately, for Ka'b and Banu Qurayza, they give in, right? But Ka'b gives in under one condition. What was that condition? Ka'b says that if Quraish and Ghatafan are not able to defeat the Muslims, yes, you're saying like, you've come with this ocean of soldiers, but if you are not able to defeat the Muslims, then you will have to grant us protection. We are violating a treaty against the Muslims, and there will be consequences for that. So if your coalition, 10,000 or whatever number it is, right, is not able to defeat the Muslims and kill Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam like you are claiming to, then you will have to grant us protection, right? Huayy, of course, says, that's not a problem. Of course, we'll offer you protection. Don't worry about it, because he's convinced that they're going to take care of the Muslims. So this is basically how Huayy, the chief of Banu Nadir, is able to convince Banu Qurayza to break their agreement, to agree to help the enemies of the Muslims fight against the Muslims. This is the definition of treason by all standards. What Banu Qurayza did at this moment in history, this is treason. Inshallah, we're going to talk about how Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam confirms this news about Banu Qurayza's betrayal, and then what happens after in the next recording, inshallah.